Apparently I've spent $1,500 to answer one question. Which one is better? Hub motor versus mid-drive motor on a cheap bicycle or affordable bicycle. Now I know there are expensive bicycles out there that don't compare to this one, but when you have $600, which one is better to buy? A mid-drive or a hub motor? In this video, I'm going to try to convince you why one is better than the other. Now, to be fair, this is in Romania and the other bicycle I rode around Vegas. And you know, the terrain influences a lot the way that the bicycle works. But also, to be honest, I'm not a big off-road guy. I like to ride my motorcycle off-road, which I like power, right? But a bicycle is more for playing around and exploring a couple of trails here and there. Both bicycles are nice and have similar features. 250 watt, 250 watt, $600, $600. If you're interested to see which ones I'm talking about, I'm going to put links at the bottom of this video for those that are interested to see what I'm actually talking about. This is a 250 watt mid-drive motor. The Ancheer was a 250 watt rear wheel hub motor. They both had walk assist. The Ancheer came more complete, had a throttle, which is a lot easier to attach on a hub motor. This one, I can buy it, but they also both had walk assist. That means that if you're getting on a very steep hill, you have to push a button for the bike to help itself out or up. This one has a little bit less torque because the pedals have to move with the entire mechanism, that the chain, the power is limited of how much it will give you, where on the Ancheer you twist the throttle and it's gone. Better hold on to it. And I really enjoy that part of the hub motor. It feels torquier, feels more powerful at the bottom on a cheaper bike compared to this bike, which is in the same price range. It just doesn't feel as gutsy. Also, one of the things that I've enjoyed more about my Ancheer is that when the hub motor starts to pull, it pulls up to like 20-25 miles an hour, and then it just kind of like plateaus over there. So there will be no pedaling today. It will be just full throttle all the time and see how far the bike can go. Where here the motor is depending on the gear. So you start in the biggest gear in the back, and then you're changing the disc and changing the disc and changing the disc. And the advantage is that you could change gears. So it's still maintaining about 20 miles an hour, 20 kilometers an hour. The motor is gradual, kind of like in a CVT transmission, but it's not, it just doesn't feel right. The Ancheer kind of like pulled like the Tesla. It's pulling from 0 all the way to the end. Power-wise, 250 watts for both motors. That one just feels stronger. Range. I can guarantee you that Ancheer at 17 miles or 18 miles just on throttle only, you cannot match it on this bicycle. There is a lot of loss into chain friction and chain noise and all other things and changing gears. It just won't be able to do it. So if you're interested in a bike that can do the range and can go far and maybe commute to work, then the Ancheer with a hub motor was a little bit better. Still 2 bars. Still 2 bars. I think it just died. Let's see what's the distance. 16.5 miles. A little bit over an hour. Now this bike is better different ways. It's a 29-inch versus 26-inch wheels, and it makes a difference. First of all, you don't feel like it's a children's bicycle, this one, when the Ancheer with the small wheels just feels too small. And they do make a bigger size wheel. I'm going to put a link at the bottom of the video. It's a little bit more expensive, like $750, but it's still 27.5. It's not 29. Give me a 29. It just feels normal for a tall guy like I am, 6 foot or 190 centimeters. As far as how it feels, it's a cheap bike. It's not meant for downhill. It's meant for the 95% of people out there just want to come into the woods and enjoy a trail like this. So because of that, I can't really say that the hub motor was more balanced compared to the Ancheer, which was less balanced because the motor is in the back. I never had any of those issues. So because of that, I can't say one wins over the other, and it's just that. The riding position is kind of like the same. I can't really complain. This is a bigger frame. The Ancheer has a smaller frame, but actually, even though I'm going to say something that is really crazy, the Ancheer had better front suspension. Not because this is bad, it's just because this one pretends to be 5 inches, but it's only 2. When the Ancheer actually had 5 inches of suspension. It was terrible, it was just a spring, but at least it moved for 5 inches. You felt something happening. They're both hardtails, and that's good for power consumption and power savings. If they would have had a spring in the back, they would have been terrible. So because of that, none of them really wins. Maintenance wise, the Ancheer was pretty easy. I had over 2,000 miles on it and few things broke as on any cheap bike. This one I had 200 miles on it and it's already making a couple of weird noises. What I'm really worried about is that I'm gonna lose the chain on this one soon, because I'm not just pushing on the pedals, I'm also pulling with the motor on the chain. Where on the Ancheer, the power was delivered by the rear hub motor and the chain only did whatever I told him to do. So if the chain breaks on this one, I gotta push it home. Where on the Ancheer, at least I have the throttle, so on the flat, I just get on it and then twist the throttle and go. If the chain goes out on this one, it's game over. That's why I said I'm going to put links at the bottom of the video so you compare the two. Click on them, see them. One is on Amazon, one is on Carpat.Romania. R-O. The truth is that it's quite hard to pick in a $600 bicycle range. It's just they're basically making no profit. Everything that they're giving you is in parts. Everything that you're buying is in those little parts that the bike came with. The battery itself, the 350 watt battery, it costs half the price of the bicycle, so you can't really complain. But these are the things that I've discovered owning them both. They're both fun. This one is more challenging. It requires you to pedal, to exercise more. On the Ancheer I was a lot more lazy, but that's why I bought an electric bicycle, to be lazy, to twist the throttle and keep going. So my third bicycle, I don't know what I'm gonna buy. Is it gonna be expensive? I don't know. Am I going to build it? I don't know. But I think I know one thing. I'm going to go get a hub. Unless I'm gonna spend $7,000 or $8,000 on a pure mid-drive bicycle that it's amazing, which I don't see myself doing, I think it's gonna be just a little bit of a more expensive hub bike. At the end of the day, I've enjoyed it more. This one is nice, but I don't know. Ancheer always felt really good. That motor just felt different. I personally like the way that you feel, the way that the hub motor pulls compared to the mid-drive. Each person is different. Your experience might be different. Mine cost me $1,500 to find out. Did I lose all the money? No. I sold the Ancheer and I will sell this one at one point. I'm going to keep it for a while, see how it does around town, but to be very honest with you, I wish I bought a hub.